fastest aircraft of World War II from all countries. In World War II, victory belonged to the fast. Between 1939 and 1945, nations poured billions into one obsession: aircraft that could outrun death. Today, we're counting down the fastest warbirds from every major power. Some broke records, some changed aviation forever. This is the ultimate speed showdown. Dornier Do 335 Feel. The Arrow, the fastest piston engine fighter of the entire war. Period. This wasn't just an airplane, it was an engineering middle finger to conventional design. The Do 335 featured a revolutionary push-pull configuration. One engine in the front, one in the back. This meant twice the power without the drag of twin-engine wings. Top speed? A blistering 474 miles per hour. That's faster than most early jets. Pilots who flew captured models after the war couldn't believe what they were sitting in. It climbed like a rocket, dove like a meteor, and handled like nothing else in the sky. Only 37 were ever built. The war ended before Germany could mass-produce their Arrow. The Allies got lucky. Messerschmitt Me 262, Schwalbe, the Swallow, the plane that rewrote aviation history. The Me 262 was the world's first operational jet fighter. When Allied bomber crews first saw it streak past at 540 miles per hour, they thought they were hallucinating. Nothing with propellers could catch it. Nothing could outrun it. It carried 4 30 mm cannons that could shred a B-17 in a single pass. In the right hands, it was an untouchable god of the skies. But Hitler's obsession with using it as a bomber delayed production. Fuel shortages grounded it. Allied fighters learned to ambush it during takeoff and landing when it was vulnerable. The Me 262 arrived too late to save Germany, but it announced to the world the propeller age was over. Heinkel He 162. Volkskrieger, people's fighter, desperation in aircraft form. By late 1944, Germany was collapsing. Their solution? Build a jet fighter so simple that factory workers could assemble it in hours and teenage pilots could fly it in days. The He 162 was constructed largely from wood because aluminum was scarce. It could hit 522 miles per hour. It was unstable, unforgiving, and killed more German pilots in accidents than Allied bullets ever did. Yet somehow, it worked. It flew. It fought. The Volkskrieger represents the terrifying creativity of a nation with nothing left to lose. Japan. Elegance and agility over brute force. Japanese aircraft philosophy prioritized maneuverability and range over armor and raw speed. But as American planes got faster and tougher, Japan adapted. Their late war designs were genuine killers. Nakajima Ki-84 Hayate. Frank, the fighter that terrified American pilots. The Ki-84 Hayate, meaning Gale, could hit 427 miles per hour and climb faster than anything the Allies had in the Pacific. It combined Japanese agility with something new: armor protection and self-sealing fuel tanks. For the first time, Japanese pilots could take hits and survive. American intelligence rated the Hayate as the most dangerous Japanese fighter of the war. It could outclimb a P-51 Mustang, outturn a P-47 Thunderbolt, and outdive almost anything. Production problems and fuel shortages kept numbers low. Otherwise, the Pacific Air War might have lasted years longer. Mitsubishi J-2M Raiden, Jack, Japan's dedicated bomber destroyer. While the Zero was dancing with enemy fighters, the Raiden had one job: climb fast and kill B-29 superfortresses before they could level Japanese cities. At 410 miles per hour with a climb rate that shocked American analysts, the Raiden could reach high-altitude bombers in minutes. Its 4 20 mm cannons could tear wings off the mightiest bombers. Japanese pilots called it Thunder Lightning. Americans learned to respect and fear the stubby interceptor that refused to let them bomb in peace. Kawanishi N1K2J Shiden Kai, George, the plane that earned respect from its enemies. Originally designed as a floatplane fighter, the Shiden Kai was rebuilt from the ground up into a land-based monster. At 420 miles per hour with incredible firepower and surprising agility, it shocked Allied pilots who expected easy kills. In the hands of an ace, the Shiden Kai could duel with Hellcats and Corsairs and win. It arrived too late and in too few numbers. But every American pilot who survived a dogfight with George remembered it forever. United States. when industrial might meets engineering genius. America didn't just build planes. America built them by the tens of thousands. And when you have unlimited resources, you can afford to make them fast, tough, and utterly dominant. North American P-51 Mustang, the Cadillac of the sky, the most famous American fighter of the war, and for good reason. With a top speed of 440 miles per hour and a range that let it escort bombers all the way to Berlin and back, the Mustang changed the air war over Europe. It could outfight the Bf-109, outrun the FW-190, and look beautiful doing it. The secret? A British Rolls-Royce Merlin engine married to an American airframe. The result was perfection. More Luftwaffe pilots fell to Mustangs than any other Allied fighter. It didn't just win battles, it won the war. Republic P-47M Thunderbolt, the Jug, the fastest Thunderbolt ever built. The standard P-47 was already a monster, a 7-ton beast with 8 machine guns and bombs that could turn tanks into scrap metal. But the P-47M was tuned for one thing: catching German jets. At 473 miles per hour, it was fast enough to intercept Me-262s and V-1 flying bombs. It was built like a flying bank vault. Pilots survived hits that would have killed them in any other plane. The Thunderbolt proved that sometimes bigger really is better. Vought F-4U Corsair. Whistling death. The terror of the Pacific. Japanese pilots heard it before they saw it. A distinctive whistle from its air intakes that announced death was coming. At 446 miles per hour, the Corsair was faster than any standard Japanese fighter. Its massive engine gave it climb and dive capabilities that the Zero couldn't match. The Corsair achieved an insane 11-to-1 kill ratio against Japanese aircraft. Pilots loved it. The enemy feared it. That bent gullwing wasn't just iconic. It was the last thing countless Japanese aviators ever saw. United Kingdom, Spitfires, Tempests, and the birth of the jet. The nation that stood alone in 1940 never stopped innovating. British engineers refined, redesigned, and revolutionized their aircraft throughout the war. Supermarine Spitfire Mark 14, the ultimate Spitfire. The evolution of a legend. The original Spitfire saved Britain in 1940. By 1944, the Mark 14 was something else entirely. Powered by the monstrous Rolls-Royce Griffon engine, it could hit 454 miles per hour and climb to 20,000 feet in under 6 minutes. It chased down V-1 flying bombs. It dueled Me-262 jets on near equal terms. It remained graceful, deadly, and impossibly beautiful. The Spitfire isn't just an airplane, it's a symbol of defiance, and the Mark 14 was its ultimate form. Hawker Tempest, the V-1 killer, built for speed at low altitude. While the Spitfire ruled the high skies, the Tempest dominated the deck. At 435 miles per hour near sea level, it was the perfect weapon against V-1 buzz bombs terrorizing London. Tempest pilots destroyed over 800 V-1s. They also proved deadly against ground targets, trains, and unlucky German fighters caught low and slow. When D-Day came, Tempests screamed over Normandy, strafing anything with a swastika. Fast, tough, and absolutely vicious. Gloucester Meteor, Britain's first jet. The Allies had jets too. The Meteor entered service in July 1944, becoming the first Allied jet in operational combat. While slightly slower than the Me-262 at 493 miles per hour, it was more reliable and easier to fly. Meteors intercepted V-1 flying bombs and patrolled against German jets. They never engaged Me-262s in aerial combat. Both sides were too cautious to risk their precious jets unnecessarily. But the Meteor proved Britain wasn't just keeping up with the future, it was helping write it. USAR, simple, rugged, and ruthlessly effective. Soviet aircraft weren't flashy, they didn't need to be. Built to survive brutal conditions and unskilled maintenance, Russian fighters prioritized toughness and agility. Their late war designs were pure killers. Lavochkin La-7, the masterpiece, the finest Soviet fighter of the war. At 423 miles per hour, the La-7 could outclimb, outmaneuver, and outfight the vaunted Bf-109 and FW-1090. It was the mount of Ivan Kozadub, the highest-scoring Allied ace with 64 kills. The La-7 was built from wood and fabric because the Soviets lacked aluminum. It didn't matter. Soviet aces used it to dominate the Eastern Front. German pilots who underestimated Russian aircraft paid with their lives. Yakovlev Yak-3, the dogfighter's dream. Light, fast, and impossibly agile, the Yak-3 weighed almost nothing compared to Western fighters. At 407 miles per hour, it could outturn anything the Germans had below 13,000 feet. Close-range dogfights were its specialty. Luftwaffe Command reportedly issued orders: avoid engaging Yak-3s unless you have numerical superiority. When the enemy tells pilots to run from your plane, you've built something special. Italy, hidden gems of the Mediterranean. Overshadowed by German engineering and Allied numbers, Italy produced some genuinely exceptional fighters that history often forgets. Mach-E C-205 Veltro, the Greyhound, Italy's finest hour in aviation. Powered by a German Daimler-Benz engine, the Veltro could hit 400 miles per hour and compete with any Allied fighter in the Mediterranean. It had German power, Italian elegance, and genuine killing capability. Allied pilots respected it. Some feared it. Too few were built. Italy surrendered in 1943 before the Veltro could make its mark. But those who faced it never forgot. Which plane was your favorite? Comment below and subscribe for more.